Hey guys, Aon here. Sorry it's been a while. I have ridiculous busyness at work. I'm limited employees and I'm salary, so I get to cover for them. Today we're going to do a little liquid culture. Haven't done a little mycology in a while, so I got my gear together, got all my ingredients, several mason jars already prepped up, distilled water preheating, and then I've got my pressure cooker right here. Simple mix. Distilled water, light malt extract, soy peptones, and a little bit of organic honey. We're going to heat the water slightly, then distribute it amongst the jars. Small amount of the base ingredients. Then we're going to tinfoil off the top, set them in the pressure cooker, let it get up to temp. Once it's up to temp, 250, 15 psi, we're going to run it for 90 minutes. Then we're going to let it cool down and pull out our jars. Next video, we'll be staging them for inoculation. All right, so we got the water hot. Let's pop these lids off. Now, I had already previously drilled in silicone with a safe, non-chemically adulterant silicone. You don't want anything getting into the jars that you don't want there. You want it as completely sterile as possible. Pre-cleaned, then through the pressure cooker, it's going to sterilize the process. All the water in it will be annoying phone calls. All the water will be completely sterile. The ingredients won't have any bacteria that could potentially alter the culture that we're going to put it in once the situation is finished, nice and cooled down. You want to make sure you're at room temperature. Don't just start injecting culture in these things at 200 degree water, 100 plus degree water. Your culture's going to die. It's going to be like making soup. Might as well throw it in the trash. So now, just because my cats recently this week broke my inside measuring cup, I'm going to use another mason jar to transfer some water into these. It doesn't have to be precise. I'm going to use about 550 milliliters of distilled water in each one. So you guys can see better. Right at about 550. It's not an exact thing. This isn't going to alter anything extreme if it's 50 milliliters over or 50 milliliters under. I use a very small concentration of nutrients inside it so that it doesn't become overgrown, create too many metabolites, start to ruin the look and growth aspect of the culture. I like my cultures to be a little clear. It's easier to observe abnormalities, and it just visually looks better. We're going to speed up this process. I work in a kitchen anyway, so stuff isn't that hot. All right. Well, let's get everything. Of course, be very careful with hot water. I work in a kitchen. I have a very high tolerance for heat. So this isn't going to be as detrimental to my health as most people. Definitely be careful when working with hot hot liquids. As the plate is a little hot now. All right. All right. Now, this is the easy part. We're going to use some soy peptones. You can see them up there. Just some regular honey, nothing special. And some organic light malt extract. Now, when I said a little bit, I mean a little bit. It's 1/64 teaspoon in each one. We're going to get a 64th teaspoon of peptones. Now, carefully, there. Of course, this isn't a sealed bag. Now we're going to do our light malt extract. The spoon will start to get a little cakey because of the steam. Once again, a little bit more is not going to hurt it. It may cloud it. But it won't hurt. All right. The honey's simple. It's about it's about a quarter of a teaspoon. I'm just gonna do a little squirt, save time. It's a pain in the ass to transfer the honey to a thing, so we're just gonna do a little bloop, bloop, bloop. Now, to make sure everything's good, we're gonna hit it with a stir. Having the water warm helps the solubility of the material. If you put it in cold, just like it'll clump, you'll get undesired finished product. Now, putting the lids back on, you don't want to have them over tight. Just finger tight loose, nothing serious. the vacuum pressure that will be created is going to seal the top of the jar, just like in a normal canning process, to a point. You can break the seal slightly because these things have little syringe ports and a resealable syringe top for the injection point and to allow it to breathe some. Finger tight. Finger tight. Oh, almost forgot. Most important thing. Magnetic stir bars. Make sure to include one in each of them now, because you can't open the jar again once we sterilize everything. They're going to want to be a pain in the ass. There we go. Back finger tight, back finger tight. Now you'll notice I'm not using gloves at this point. Like I said, it's going through its sterilization process. Using a glove right now on already clean hands is like super, super, super overboard. Now, once I start handling these in the mycology sense, where I'm injecting culture, everything needs to be wiped down, alcohol, sanitized, done in front of a flow hood or still air box. That will maximize your chance to have a good, clean culture versus bacterial infection, metabolites, improper temperatures, not good things. You don't want any of this stuff. You're going through all this process to get to this point. Once you get to that point, you have that clean, sterile product to work from, don't fuck it up. You got one there. One there. Because I counted out 7, but I'm not using 7 jars today. I'm saving one for a different little project. I gotta make more right to it. But like I said before, my time has been like extremely stressed. Like I have to be to work for another 8-hour shift in like 2 hours. So basically, got done all my morning stuff, trying to get the stuff set up. I still want to get better microphones. I feel the audio is a little funny. But now that everything is like that, tinfoil. Nothing fancy. You don't want a piece. Not like that. And you're going to easily cover the top. Not hard, just cover it a little bit. To get us started, I'm going to crank on my pressure cooker. I've already pre-put water in this, so it's going to be pretty much easy. I'm going to load these in, nice cylindrical pattern, close the top. It's going to start shooting out air out of one of these guys. Different settings, different pressure controls. You have your zone 3 is where we want it. We want 15 psi to allow that pressure and temperature to be achieved. So let's finish tapping these up. Basically a long strip, flip down. Now, as you can see, nicely packed in there. Water up to the baseline. Now, when we're going pressure cookers, be extremely careful. Make sure your equipment is sound. Don't just grab something out of Goodwill and be like, oh, let's hope it's going to work. You're essentially potentially creating the action of a bomb. If this doesn't work properly, its safeties don't go off, you've created a pressure bomb. You do not want that. You don't want to blow up your house. You don't want to blow up your lab. You don't want to blow up wherever you're working at. Be very careful and inspect the equipment that you use. This is a new unit I just got. I've used it a few times already. It's working fantastic. So, let me get you set up. Now, each one of these, there you go. You're going to slot it in. This way so I can read that thing. Now we're engaged. We got it on number 3. And that's pretty much it. So, this is the first part of the video. This is going to take 90 minutes. 90 minutes is up. That's just the cooking time. It's probably going to take another 30 minutes to even cool it down, pressure release, but we can safely open it. Then you have to let stuff get down to room temperature. You don't want to slowly let it, and understand that these containers are super hot. When they come out and you're able to touch them, once you let it cool down, you're going to tighten the tops to make sure they're sealed from air potentially getting into them, because due to atmospheric changes in pressure and that it's being vented through the syringe filter, it can pop that seal. You want to make sure that doesn't happen to maintain the integrity of the jar. Once everything's good and it's down to room temperature, you can store them in the refrigerator for later use to make sure no bacteria grows. And then we can get ready for the inoculation part. Once inoculated, they will then be stored at a consistent temperature, whether in an incubator or a nice closet or temperature-controlled area that you can monitor temperature fluctuations and a nice sweet spot. Once they've achieved growth that you want, growth can be put on a stunted self. You're going to put that jar into the refrigerator. Certain species I've noticed tend to still grow. Colder weather species, more hardy, things like that. But you will maintain this culture for about a year, maybe longer. Then you can, from this point, put it into additional syringes and use it for your work or friends, family, sale, what have you. So I'll be back in a little while. This is part 1 of the video. Thank you guys for watching.